How's it going, my dudes? Welcome back to another video. If I sound different, that's because I changed my mic. I'm currently using a Razer headset, so the sound quality should be a lot better, a lot more crisp, a lot more clear. But anyway, let's get right into the content for today, which is an update on the water team that I used previously. This team is pushing Selfish DA to the limit, so DA means direct attack. I'm not sure why I did not figure this out soon enough, but Sonya as the leader is incredibly powerful for a Selfish DA team, because Sonya as a main, right, while buffs are active on this unit, she does 2 direct hits with 50% extra to the total damage dealt. She is a perfect leader with Unison being Remnith. But of course, by using Sonya as the leader, we no longer have levitation. So if you guys do not have Sonya, you can opt for an Alice. Alice does grant levitation. Let's take a look at Alice. So this is she, and she is pretty good as well. So you see, grant levitate to all allies with a very low skill gauge. And not only that, she has an incredible leader as well. So while HP for water units are above 80%, you add 140% attack to that unit. This is super big. And the rest of her abilities are just super powerful. She will be a very strong leader for Remnith. So the only reason why I'm not going to use Alice this time is because of Sonya's double hit. And also for the fact that Sonya does scale her attack buffs in their duration, which means that Remnith's own buffs will be lengthened as well. So there is that. And next up, we are using Lu. I have never actually showcased Lu before, but his kit fits this perfectly. Let's take a look at his abilities, right? So for his ability 1, that's kind of pointless for us because this is power flip related. We don't really care too much about power flip. But ability 2, right? When the combo reaches 30, which we can manage very easily, you add 5% attack to the leader. So he will be granting a lot of extra attack power to our leader along the way, and especially for Golem EX runs which last slightly longer, like 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe even 4 minutes, this will be incredibly useful. And next up, ability 3 as a main, when a skill is activated for 10 seconds, you grant levitate. So if you take note of our skill gauges over here, Sonya and Lu both have very similar skill gauges. So it is always the case where either Sonya uses her skill first or Lu uses his skill first. Whoever used their skill first will always be met with the other side of the buff. So if you have penetration, you will quickly follow with levitation, or if you have levitation, you quickly follow with penetration. So the synergy here is insane. And of course, let's take a look at the armament that I'm equipping on Lu. This is the Twisted Lance core. So if you have gacha tickets and you manage to pull this armament, this is not bad to have. But it is in no sense a must-have. So it adds 10% to the time that piercing is active on your entire team. But if you do not have this, it's not impossible. You can just use any other armament so long as you do not touch skill gauges, because you want your skill gauge to be in sync. It's a very sensitive thing for this team. And like I covered before, Liesel is just here to lengthen your buff durations by 24%. I enjoy using her so much for this team. And of course, Unit 3, I'm using Prismatic Dual Blade so that I can stagger my penetration buffs so that I do not overdose on penetration. So with that said, this is the team. Let's take a look at it in action. It is extremely powerful. So this time around, we are going to be doing it with pups as well. I think pups give a very good idea of how well you perform on a daily basis. But to be honest, I'll be fair with you guys and say that the pups that I'm running with, they are a little bit stronger. So when I joined this run, I was like, okay, I definitely have to start recording. Just a slight disclaimer for you guys. Anyway, as usual, we are going to have a slow start, but as soon as Rain starts using his skill, we are going to ramp up our attacks a lot and stack up a lot of combos. And also, if you guys are wondering, yes, we are not running any healers at all, but is it really necessary to bring a healer? You will reach a certain point in the game where you really do not need healers at all, not even for any of the EX bosses, because the thing is, especially for this case, we have Faf, and even if Faf dies, he's just gonna revive with 50% HP. That is enough HP to tank through the entire boss fight. But if you're a new player, I would highly suggest that you continue to bring a healer. In fact, bring as many supports as you need to stay alive. It is more important that you clear the stage than to clear it fast. Anyway, our skills have since been released, and if you pay attention to the numbers, we are doing a lot of damage. So over here, we are going to break the boss, and we will have a better idea of how much damage we can do. You may pause the video anytime to see that we are in fact doing 4 hits of damage. We are doing upwards of 110,000 damage per slap with our Sonya Remnith duo. But that is without penetration. When we have penetration, we are actually doing upwards of 230,000 damage. And this is not even in our best form yet, cause that came with Rain's buff. It did not come directly from Sonya using her skill. If Sonya used her skill during that period of time, the damage could go upwards of 300,000. So yes, RNG has a place to play here, but it's really just a matter of, are you doing good damage or are you doing great damage? And of course, if you clone this team, you are going to see a lot of damage, because you're constantly going to have 6 chain combos with your Lu and Sonya duos, which will see you doing as much damage as you can during every single break. So I think I'm actually starting to enjoy Water DA a lot more than Dark DA. I think Water DA is actually really fun because you have levitation as well, whereas for Dark DA your units are a little bit more limited. Like, you have so many options of debuffs, but you don't have enough options for buffs. And the Arc EX armaments are just so restrictive. So you don't really have the flexibility of using random other element units like what I'm doing on this team. I have Lu over here. And you know, sometimes you want to use Shiowei or whoever, right? So yeah, Water DA is definitely more fun, and especially during Fever itself. But yes, if you have not tried Alice, definitely try to use her as a leader. You will be seeing a lot of numbers. She is actually so strong with penetration because her skill hits so many times. But if you do not have penetration, her skill then bounces away from the boss, which is very counter-intuitive. So yeah, do try her and let me know how it goes. But unfortunately for this run, we missed all our 3 breaks. We were not able to use Sonya's skill during this time. And that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Subscribe for more World Flipper content. And this has been Free to Play, by the way. And as always, I will see you in the next video.